We're having a conversation with A.G. Baddley, who is an independent candidate for Congress. And we would like for you, if you could, to tell us a little bit about yourself and your platform and where you grew up. You're from this area?
Right, I'm your hometown candidate. I'm A.G. Baddley. I'm from Hernando. I graduated from Hernando High School. I did attend Northwest campus and DeSoto campus. I served in the military overseas behind the Iron Curtain in communist East Germany in the military in the city of Berlin. I was there when Ronald Reagan made his famous speech at the Berlin Wall. I was 10 feet right in front of him when he made that speech. And the roar of the crowd behind me was deafening at that point. It was awesome to be part of that history. I grew up in Hernando. I'm an electrician by trade. I'm just your average guy that working, paying taxes, trying to make a living, and I want to do something to help our country. I have 2 teenage daughters, and I'm concerned about their future and the future of their children someday. And I'm looking around at the present representation of our country, and I don't like where it's going. I don't like where we're headed. And the policies and things of the current administration are working hand in hand, both parties together, to destroy and tear apart America.
Very good. And that moment you described with President Reagan, did that influence you from a conservative standpoint as far as your principles and your platform?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he's one of our most awesome presidents we've ever had. He stands up for the rights of people, and I stand behind his principles that he had. And he didn't back down from communist threats or any outside influence trying to strong arm America. He was very much a defender of our liberties and freedoms, of which I put my life on the line for, to defend the honor of this country and the freedoms that everyone takes for granted today. Something that my 2 major opponents have never served in the military. They've never put their life on the line for this country.
And you're running as an independent, but also I know that you court the Tea Party vote as well, I believe, in some of their principles. What appeals to you from the Tea Party platform? What if any of those tenets of their philosophy that appeals to you?
I believe in the core principle values of family and God and trust in your government representatives to do the will of the people. However, the Tea Party, as it started out, was a wonderful organization. There were a group of people that saw our country being destroyed, and they banded together with a common core value belief system, and the Republican Party has seen that start to erode their base away from them. So as a result, they have infiltrated into the Tea Party, funneled money and finances into the Tea Party Express, and is therefore, in my opinion, have hijacked the Tea Party because they only endorse and stand behind a Republican platform candidate. They do not endorse or stand behind independents. I've yet to find anywhere out there, and it may be, and I could be wrong, but I've yet to locate where the Tea Party movement is backing and standing behind a true independent candidate over and above the Republican or the Democrat candidate.
Who would you consider your icons or your role models in the political sphere? Who influenced you the most as far as your political ideas?
I would have to say Ronald Reagan, absolutely. First and foremost, I believe that, actually I believe Lamar Alexander set a pretty good example of going out and talking with the people. The governor from Tennessee, who ran for governor in Tennessee, when he went out and he did his walk across Tennessee, meeting with the people, actually showing them who he was and how he can help them and work for them. And he did a good job as governor of Tennessee, I believe. Ronald Reagan, I mentioned Ronald Reagan. I had some aspects of George Bush I admire. Some things about George Bush I don't admire. He was a stand-up guy. He believed in principles. He wouldn't back down, and I don't back down. I'm not afraid of anyone, and I will stand for what I believe in, and I will stand for my family and the families of my constituents in the district.
When you talk about issues, hot-button issues that are very much in the fore, immigration is one of those hot topics. Where do you stand on the immigration issue as far as illegals in this country? Should they have amnesty? Should there be a look at the whole process of immigration? And how do you see that issue?
Actually, my wife and I have differing views on the amnesty issue portion of it. I don't believe in amnesty myself personally. I think that if a person is here illegal, they're illegal. They're breaking the law. They're not, the current administration needs to be re-educated to learn the definition of illegal, because it does not mean undocumented. It means illegal. That means they're breaking our American laws, and as such they should be sent back to their country of origin. They should have to go through the process to be able to come into America legally, not as a criminal. And so do we need to prosecute them? I'll leave that open to the courts to decide. However, there should be a time limit before they should be allowed to reapply and try to come into our immigration process in the correct way. I think maybe right now we're allowing too many immigrants in per capita, per year rather. We need to cut that back a little bit, because our economic situation right now is such that we can't really continue to sustain as many immigrants coming into the country. We've also got policies that allow people from overseas to come to America, apply for loans, start a business tax-free, keep it for 7 years. The American citizens can't do that. Why are we allowing people from other countries to come here and immigrate into our country and circumvent the system and take advantage of programs that aren't offered and allowed to the normal Americans, the natural American citizens that live here? I see that the policies in Arizona were a good thing. They're only enforcing the law. That's what the country is supposed to do. We're supposed to enforce our law. We're a country of laws. We're a nation of laws. And we should enforce them. And for the administration that's in the White House right now to try to circumvent the law by filing suits against a state for enforcing the laws, that seems to be a totally ludicrous idea, in my opinion.
Your fellow independent candidates, not so much the mainstream, but your fellow independent candidates talk a lot about the term limits.
Absolutely.
What is your feeling about term limits? Is it a good thing? Does it disenfranchise the voters if you don't get that seniority that, in the grand scheme of things, helps you get on these important committees and things like that? What's the trade-off in that?
That is a concern as far as being able to be on certain committees. However, if it's enacted nationwide, the term limits are nationwide, I feel that 4 years would be an optimum number of years for a congressional candidate and 2 terms for a senator. I understand that senators are the higher echelon of the House of Representatives and Senate, but a lot of people are talking 6 and 8 years for congressmen. That is acceptable, but we need some type of term limit. We don't need to have people go up there and stay 20, 30 years in a position only because they feel like they're obligated, to have that position afforded to them.
Right.
It's not a stepping stone for a continued political career. It's a service to the country. It's representing the people. You go, you represent them, you come back home, you go to work, and you live by the laws that you helped to create.
Now let's talk about a little bit what distinguishes you from your fellow independents and the Democratic and Republican candidates. What makes you stand out, do you feel like?
I'm your hometown candidate. I believe in taking care of family, but I believe in my country first and foremost. I believe in God even before that, because without God we wouldn't have a country. Without this country I wouldn't have my family. But I believe in taking care of our country. If we don't stand up and be strong and declare independence for ourselves and take care of our own backyard, nobody's going to do it for us. We can't rely on everyone else. We've got to be self-reliant on our own ingenuity. My Republican opponent is a 15-year state senator. He's a career politician. It's time to get away from the career politics and the same old that we've had year after year, decade after decade. Our country's only had one of 2 choices for actual leadership for a long, long time, and they've never really progressed our country to where it needs to truly be. We've been in a steady decline, and both parties have worked to bring this about. My Republican opponent, as in Senate Bill 2391, he voted yes to allow the government courts to undermine the authority of parents over their own children, over minor girls, in how it relates to pro-life and pro-abortion issue. And he voted to the pro-abortion side of that issue. And I differ from that because I don't believe in abortion, and I definitely don't believe in the government and the courts being able to regulate my children and their activities without my knowledge.